The late, great David Crosby, member of the Byrds and Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer 2 times over. We lost Croz last week. Legendary, outspoken, and at times quite abrasive. Crosby managed to piss off just about everyone he ever worked with.
Dude, I saw this on the rundown, and I know you're Jimmy Mack is, he's got a lot of passions. Star Wars is probably his top passion, but another one is classic rock. So when I saw this and I go, all right, so Mac wants to take a little time and honor the legacy of David Crosby, but we got to keep this thing Star Wars. I'm like, what is the David Crosby connection to Star Wars?
That's right. Yeah, right. This is no random shout out. We're giving the Croz his time here on RFR because, we acknowledge his great talents and his amazing presence on the music scene for almost 60 years. But here at Rebel Force Radio, we care about one thing and one thing only. It's his Star Wars fandom. And Croz was a huge Star Wars fan. As a matter of fact, he talked about Star Wars in his book. He said, the movie I've seen the most times, boy, that's a tough one. It would have to be a toss-up between Apocalypse Now and the first Star Wars. I think the first Star Wars. So Croz, he's a guy who's seen Star Wars 500 times, and that's why we love Croz. But, he is David Crosby, so he can't love something without being opinionated about it. And maybe even a little harshly critical. And in this quote from Crosby, he reveals Alec Guinness classed up that movie, Star Wars. Nobody else in that movie knew how to act. Nobody else had a clue of what they were doing. The young guy was a complete loss. Absolutely. Hamill. He's talking about Mark Hamill. Absolutely couldn't act his way out of a bag. But Alec Guinness carried that movie. He was such a class act. It elevated the film to be a joy to watch.
Oh, so, man.
Croz is he's Team Kenobi. He's Team Ben. He's Team Ben. And Crosby maintained his passion for Star Wars throughout the streaming era. It was more than just movies. I mean, David was there with us watching all the shows we watch on Disney+. Somebody asked him, this is I know this is a family program, ladies and gentlemen, but this is an appropriate question if you're going to ask somebody who is a big time focal point of the counterculture revolution of the 60s. And with the acceptance of herb today, it's very acceptable for somebody a guy named McBrizzle asks David Crosby on Twitter, are you into the edibles or still smoking only? I mean, if you're going to ask anyone this question, David Crosby would be the guy to ask.
Right.
And Croz says, currently we vape flowers and make really amazing cookies. Both. And just for tradition's sake, we smoke one of my son's perfect spliffs and watch Mandalorian. Oh, wow, man.
The only way to watch Mando, high with David Crosby.
Oh, could you imagine the conversation? Did you see that jump to light speed, man? But Croz follows it up. He also says, we do also watch Boba Fett. Partly in just for the hopes of Mandalorian showing up.
Oh, he's one of us, right? He's watching it. He's watching it, just hoping the Mando shows up. Oh,
but he also enjoys the incredible visuals.
Oh, he had to throw that in. But he's toking it up there. Those visuals.
Now, David, he passed away on the 18th of January at the age of 81. But he did have one final Star Wars review, and that was October 5th, 2022. He gave us an Andor review.
No kidding.
Croz says on Twitter, those of us who love the original Star Wars have been waiting, watching each spin-off come out, hoping, but finally Andor, writing, a plot, actors, good ones, so delicious. Please give us more, lots more. This is high grade. Nice.
Oh, man, that's a nice review from music legend, two-time Rock Hall of Famer David Crosby. Sadly, Croz wouldn't live long enough to see season 2.
No, I know that really hurts me.
Andor.
Now that I know how much he loved Andor, he's not going to see it all pay off, Yeah. So maybe there's a screening room where he can sit down and give that a spin. Up there.
Well, he can be up there. He can be talking to Alec Guinness, for all we know right now. Man, you really classed up that movie with that hack Hamill.
That other guy, it's awful. And Guinness would be saying like, well, I wouldn't say this if I was still on Earth, but he had a lot to learn, let's just say.
Now, promise me that you'll never, ever, ever, ever watch Star Wars again, David Crosby.
He made Croz cry? You made Croz cry.
In heaven. He's making him cry in heaven, man. I saw the stardust of madness in his eyes.
Oh, you definitely see that with Croz. Stardust, pixie dust, any kind of dust you could think of would be in his eyes.
Oh man,
David Crosby, what a legend, though. And he was still out there performing. He's got an album coming out. He had a tour planned.
What a shame. So this was not. He was not an ill man, at least as far as
he
we
was.
know.
He was.
Oh, he was.
He'd been through the ringer. I mean, he had everything. He had heart problems. He was a diabetic. Obviously a recovering addict, an alcoholic, liver. He had a liver transplant. The thing that really, and all of those factors come into play with him passing away at age 81. But he was in day 5 of COVID, and he went to take a nap and just never got up from it. So hopefully he was dreaming about Mandalorian and Alec Guinness and Andor.
Rest in peace, David Crosby. Hope you enjoyed that connection. Because Star Wars does unite us, man. You're just people you never would have thought you have anything in common with. Well, you find out they're a Star Wars fan.